body. Sometimes I go upstairs or down to the garage, and in the 3 minutes that it takes me to go there, I forgot what I went for. But in times of tragedy and in times of triumph, somehow we search the vaulted aisles of our memory and we know exactly where we were at that moment. If you're old enough, you remember where you were when John Glenn orbited around the Earth, where you were when Lance Armstrong landed on the moon, where you were when John F. Kennedy and Dr. Martin Luther King were assassinated. And so too, 14 years ago, I am sure you knew exactly where you were when you first heard the news of the first flight, United 195, crashing into the South Tower. So what was it like for that morning? Like it was for everyone else on the East Coast. 2,996 people perished on that day. And before they did, they probably had coffee and breakfast with their families. They talked about how the summer was too short, but how great the summer was, how the water's still nice, how they wanted to get back to the shore one more time. But we know that that never happened. They left their families that morning. They kissed their loved ones goodbye, and they never returned back again. Never had time to make that act of contrition, never to say, God, forgive me for everything I did. There was no time. Their lives were snuffed out. In a few moments, we're going to remember the 2,996 people who perished on that day. And we're also going to remember two boys, two Atlantic City boys, that if you didn't think of them as heroes before then, certainly the actions they took that day, if you don't know, made them heroes forever in our lives. The last thing I want to do is to recognize our firefighters and our police officers. On 9/11 and at every other time, these are the men and women that rush into trouble, not escape trouble. They leave their families every morning, kissing them goodbye, thinking what they're going to have for dinner. But the line of duty that they've accepted may not bring them home. So if you don't do anything else today, before you leave, shake every firefighter, every policeman's hand, and thank them because they're making this city a safe place to live and to work. Finally, before 9/11, 14 years ago, we all got emblazed in our brains through our history lessons that the day of infamy that our parents went through was when the imperial forces of Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. But after 9/11, that day of infamy was our parents' day of infamy. For Americans today, our day of infamy was on September 11, 2001.